by powering specialist Dan Hayden. 1987 Pan American champion Sabrina Mar, and promising teenager Hope Spivey. And today our
Running Rebels and Jerry Tarkanian here play basketball, but today it's mixed pairs gymnastics, and our color commentator and expert analyst is Mary Lou Retton, Olympic champion. Mary Lou, we've seen mixed pairs competitions before, but this one is unique, isn't it?
Yes, it is. First of all, we do have a panel of celebrity judges, all who were members of the 1984 Olympic team. And the way this competition is going to be run is the women's and men's performances will be done back to back, and then only one combined score will be given.
Now, although there are some stars for the U.S. team here, people like Dan Hayden and Kevin Davis, Melissa Marlowe and Sabrina Mar, perhaps the critical element today is for the gymnasts who are on the bubble in terms of making the team for Seoul.
That's correct. I think we do have a lot of competitors here that are on the make-it-or-break-it line for the U.S. team. And I think if they do a good showing here at this competition, it could really boost their confidence going into the trials.
So let's get right to the first round. First of all, we have Stacy Gunthorpe, who's paired up with Curtis Holdsworth. Stacy's trains at the SCATS program in Huntington Beach, California, under Coach Don Peters. And Mary Lou, you had said that Stacy is one of those kind of girls that is right on the bubble, a make it or break it for Seoul.
Yes, she is. Stacy's an inconsistent gymnast. She really hasn't built up her confidence yet, but performs a nice round-off back handspring layout with a full twist vault. She took a step on her landing. I'm sure she's going to concentrate on that for her second vault. Let's watch her body position on this. She has a good pre-flight. The push-off, straight as a needle. And her landing, the one step, I'm sure that's what she's going to be concentrating on for the second one.
As you mentioned, Mary Lou, of course, in gymnastics, top-notch gymnastics, you have to stick the vault. I guess you're very well familiar with nailing the landing when you need to do it. What would you tell Stacy at this point how to stick it?
Well, it looks like she over-rotated that a little bit, stepping back, so I would tell her to block it up a little bit more and really feel for the landing and just absorb it.
All right, let's see if she can do it Mary Lou style.
Oh. She over-twisted that one.
Actually, do you think she was trying an extra half twist, or did she get confused in the air?
It looked like she was going for a 1.5 and just lost. I don't know.
Okay, remember, now there are 8 pairs competing today. You just saw Stacy Gunthorpe. Her teammate is Curtis Holdsworth, who will be up next. Then Christie Henrik, Kevin Davis are paired together, Hope Spivey and Dan Hayden. We have Joyce Wilborn and Tom Schlessinger, Sabrina Mar, Mike Rice, Tina Snowden, Collin Godkin, Lisa Panzeroni, John Amori, and Melissa Marlowe and Mike Chaplin are paired together. Our next performer is the teammate of Stacy Gunthorpe. Of course, this is Curtis Holdsworth. As a freshman in college at UCLA, he won the pommel horse event at the NCAA, so this is one of his expertise.
Bart, I know in women's gymnastics, balance beam is a make it or break it for the gymnast. Is it pommel horse for men's?
Without a doubt, definitely pommel horse is the most nerve-wracking event. And one thing that I really like about Curtis is he doesn't seem to be flustered. Look at how calm and easily he swings through the exercises. Perfect toe point. Excellent rhythm. Look at the nice extension. There's the flared work. A 3/4 Bailey to a handstand. That is an excellent exercise for Curtis Holdsworth. There's his coach, Bill Jones, the same coach as Olympic champion and bronze medalist Tim Daggett. So Tim, of course, being a pommel horse expert, Curtis is definitely following in the footsteps of one of the greats of U.S. gymnastics, Tim Daggett. As you can see here in the slow motion, from the handstand, Curtis picks up to a nice single leg work. And notice the good extension, perfect toe point. You know, at the world-class level, it's those little things that make the difference between the good routines and the great ones. Curtis has all the necessary elements, but what lets him stand out is the fact that he has excellent form and perfect rhythm. And the score for our first pair is a 9.85 for Curtis Holdsworth and Stacy Gunthorpe. So there you have it, the first competitors in round 1. We'll be back with more gymnastics, but right now let's go to Don Crickey and John Neighbor for swimming. At Joyce Wilborn as she's getting ready for her vault.
She is a very powerful gymnast. not only does Joyce go far, but she goes high. It was a good layout Sukahara with the full twist.
You know, Joyce is 17 years old, and she's training right now with Bill and Donna Strauss at the Parkettes program in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Let's take a look one more time at this Sukahara full.
She gets so high, and look at how far away from the horse she is. That shows you what a good vaulter Joyce really is.
Joyce Wilborn out of Passaic, New Jersey. Actually, she's been living in Patterson, recently moved to Allentown to work with the very strong Parkettes program. As you're looking at her partner, Tom Schlessinger out of the University of Nebraska. Tom is a very clean worker on the parallel bars. Notice, nice, easy rhythm, good, clean line. There's a move called a Healy spin to a full pirouette in a straddle position. Notice that he's never rushed. It's a very clean exercise. He seems to take his time. And now, back toss. That's a very explosive move. 2 in a row. To a nice pike double back. One step on the landing, but a very nicely done exercise for Tom Schlessinger.
Bart, I know that's what you won your gold medal on.
Well, parallel bars has always been a favorite of mine, and certainly Tom, being the NCAA champion on the parallel bars, knows how to do it very well. As you're looking at their team score, 9.85 for Wilborn and Schlesinger. So let's take a look at the leaderboard right now. We are halfway through the first rotation. Gunthorpe and Holdsworth with 9.85, tied with Wilborn and Schlessinger with 9.85. Henrik and Davis at 9.8, and Spivey and Hayden also at 9.8. As we're getting ready for the second half of the first rotation, our next performer is right there. That's Tina Snowden. Now, she's training down at Caroli's Gymnastics Elite in Houston, Texas.
Tina is a newcomer to the scene. Vaulting is not one of her better events, but let's see what she's going to do. A round off back handspring. Layout. Nice landing with the full twist.
Pretty
Very
nice,
good.
Mary Lou. I think she's improved a great deal on vaulting.
She's improved tremendously on vaulting. She had a little form break in the air, but she's doing very well.
Her vault was a little different than the one that you saw Joyce Wilborn do. She's doing a round-off approach, a vault that's called a Kirichenko, named after Natalia Kirichenko from the Soviet Union. Very cleanly done and good stick on the landing.
Yes, it was.
Now, Tina's teammate is Collin Godkin. Now, keep in mind that these gymnasts are combining to get one combination score for the pair, and Collin, of course, has chosen to perform on the rings. Very nice kip to an iron cross. Collin is a very interesting story. Just 5 weeks ago, he had 2 screws put in his ankle, and so he's not doing any vaulting or tumbling in this competition, but he is in very good shape on the apparatus, as you see here. Inverted iron cross. Obviously, while Collin has been laid up with an ankle injury, he's been working on the apparatus, and he seems to be much stronger in the upper body, and I know that will eventually show a great deal of improvement in his all-around scores as well. Here's his dismount. Oh, just a full twisting backflip, and as you can see, he had a lot of pain and a lot of trouble with that landing.
Whoa, that looked painful. Grimace on his face.
Yeah, maybe it's a little bit early for Collin to be coming back into competition, but you can see here he has good giant swing. There's a back with a full, and baby, that stings.
Oh.
There you see Fred Roethlisberger, the coach of Collin Godkin. Collin is a very fine gymnast, but unfortunately he's had a number of injuries. He hurt himself last year at the NCAAs. And because of that little mistake there, Tina Snowden and Collin Godkin get a team score of 9.6. There's Jack Rockwell, the team trainer, who's taking a look at Collin Godkin. Collin seems to be all right, but you know that landing really stung. Now, you're looking right there at Lisa Panzeroni, who also trains at the Parkettes program. She is greatly improved, Mary Lou.
Oh, tremendously, Bart. I am very impressed at how much better she's gotten. Oh. She didn't get the proper block off of the horse, which caused her to fall.
She seemed to have good run and good rebound, but what happened?
She didn't have that repulsion off of the horse. You could see on the horse her arms bent. You need to have a straight body, arms and shoulders straight. And the horse just took and absorbed all her power.
Okay, you can see one more time. She does the roundup onto the board.
Now watch her arms. They're bent, see? She didn't get the proper, and then she looked for the landing, and she didn't have enough power to get it over.
And we'll have more of the Las Vegas Sports Festival after these messages. You're looking at Melissa Marlowe out of Salt Lake City. Missy is perhaps one of the most elegant gymnasts on the women's team, Mary Lou.
Oh, definitely, Bart. This is her favorite event and by far her best event. You can tell Missy really swings like a European, meaning everything is stretched out and it's long. Beautiful toe point. Now that looks like a mistake. She was having trouble with this, and she performs it beautifully.
That's an unusual move, actually a giant with the wrong grip.
Yes, men are famous for doing that on high bar. Nice Tkachev. Oh.
What happened there, Mary Lou?
She came out of that stalter just a little bit early. She was having trouble with her bar set in warm-ups. Oh, that's got to be disappointing for Missy.
I've always enjoyed Missy's style, but she seems sometimes unaggressive.
I agree with you, yes. You just want to go and shake her up and say, get excited. She's a little mellow.
She needs a little Mary Lou, does she?
Maybe so.
Well, that is definitely going to hurt the team score as you look here once again.
A nice high. Look at how high above the bar she goes on that Tkachev.
What happened here now, Mary Lou?
She just opened up too soon. She arched, her head went up. That's for sure a fall.
Yeah, and she got by with the big skill. She made the reverse act easily and then had trouble on one of the more easy elements.
Yes, she did. Made the combination and fell off on something that she, I'm sure, does every day. Oh.
Okay, now, Melissa Marlowe's teammate is out of UCLA, Mike Chaplin. You're looking at him right there. He's going to perform on the floor exercise where he is very explosive. He opens with a laid-out double back, which is a new move for Mike Chaplin. Once again, he's taking advantage of this opportunity to build his programs to get ready for the trials. Beautiful side, 1 3/4. How about that?
Boy,
That's the Thomas Flares with the spindle.
That's always a crowd pleaser, isn't it? Oh, I can appreciate that middle split. Ooh, flexibility always wasn't one of my strong points.
From the split, he did a press to a handstand. He's getting ready for his third tumbling run. Front, front. Now, most of the time, you see that the gymnasts take it easy on their third tumbling run. He's doing some elements that score well, but aren't as challenging in terms of endurance because basically he's resting. For this last tumbling run, you can see he does a beautiful K scale in the corner. As you see his teammate Missy Marlowe looking on. Here's his last pass. Tuck double back. Over-rotated. This is a very springy floor mat, and I know that the guys were all excited when they got here that they had an opportunity to really perform on a bouncy mat. Maybe just a little too bouncy.
I think so. Hard to control the landings. Round up back handspring. Nice high double back. And the floor was a little springy, and he over-rotated. Took a couple steps.
Once again, there's Mike Chaplin, as you see their team score with Missy Marlowe of 9.5. So we'll be back with more of the mixed pairs gymnastics competition here at the Thomas & Mack Center right after this. Where the mixed pairs gymnastics competition portion of the Las Vegas Sports Festival is going on. You can see our leaderboard right there. Gunthorpe and Holdsworth in first, tied with Wilborn and Schlessinger, Henrik and Davis, and Spivey and Hayden tied for second and third. We'll be back with more gymnastics, but before that, let's go to Gary Gerald and Brian Dreber for cycling in Boulder City. Lou?
Sabrina has a stocked routine, is what we call it. She has 2 release moves, a nice high ginger over the bar. She's moving very nicely. Getting ready for her dismount, a clear hip circle, giant. And her dismount is very high double flyaway with a perfect landing.
That's Sabrina Mar. Now, you noticed a couple of minor form breaks throughout the exercises on the release moves and in the giant swings, Mary Lou.
Yes, she is. She needs to concentrate a little bit more and work a little bit harder on her form. But let's take a look at the dismount. Look how high above the bar she goes. She just kicks it out and really sticks that landing.
Now, keep in mind that the team of Sabrina Mar and Mike Rice, who will be up next on the parallel bars, need a score of 9.9 to take the lead. There's Mike Rice as he prepares to perform on parallel bars. Mike Rice was my training partner as I prepared for the '84 Olympics. We both went to the University of Oklahoma.
Is this one of Mike's better events?
Actually, he's very solid on parallel bars. You can see he has, look at the execution and form. Now watch this. He's setting up for a Healy turn, pirouette, to a straddle Healy turn. A very nice original combination. There's a back toss and a tuck double back and a nail landing.
Woo, that pair stuck the landing.
Yeah, both of them nailed the landings. As you mentioned earlier, Mary Lou, that's going to be a key to see who does well in this mixed pairs competition, because this really is an unusual format for gymnastics events.
Yes, it is.
You can see once again Rice does a back toss, and he's a little bit over. He has a lot of speed, and you are flying into that double back, but he handles it beautifully, spots the landing. There's Mike Rice and Sabrina Mar, his teammate. Their score at 9.85, so a total of 19.55. We'll be back in Las Vegas at Thomas & Mass. Is with Don Peters right now.
Thanks, Bart. I'm with Coach Don Peters, head coach of the women's gymnastics team for the Olympics 1984 and again in 1988. There's one person missing here in this meet that the world has come to expect a lot of, and that is Christie Phillips. Now, she was proclaimed by Sports Illustrated to be the next Mary Lou. She was the national champion in June, and now we basically haven't heard from her. What is the story? What has happened to Christie Phillips?
Well, I think she's training, chose, I think, not to do this meet because she's training for the upcoming Olympic trials and championships, etc. I'd assume that that's why she's not here.
But she's sort of a mystery person. I mean, a national champion who hasn't really defended her title at all. We've heard stories about her growing, gaining weight, losing some of her enthusiasm for the sport. Do you know anything about this?
Well, I don't think she's lost any enthusiasm. I mean, she has competed. She competed in the Pan American Games last summer. She competed in the World Championships in the fall. And, you know, in the Olympic year, it's an important year. You have to focus on the Olympic Games. You make that your key. You gear everything towards that. And in her training, that's what she's done. Sometimes it works out for the athletes that they're ready a little bit early and they can do some of the other events leading up to it. Sometimes it's better not to do that. And that's just something that the coach on the spot who's working with the athlete has to kind of decide.
Okay, but she did very badly in the World Championships. She went back to Bella Caroli, then she suddenly left Bella Caroli, went to you for a matter of weeks. Now she's gone back to Bella Caroli. Can you put this all into play? I feel like you're protecting her a little bit. I mean, she's not performing well.
No, you can't say that. You can't say she's not performing well. She hasn't performed.
Well, why not? Why hasn't she been out here for the world to see her?
Because she's obviously getting ready, preparing.
She has a lot of getting ready to do.
Well, I think you're making assumptions that you really can't make.
Well, some people are saying that she doesn't even have a chance, perhaps, of making the Olympic team. And a year ago, she was a national champion.
No, I wouldn't say that she doesn't have a chance of making the Olympic team. I consider her one of the contenders to make the team.
She came to you. She was there, what, a matter of weeks, and then she went back to Bella Caroli.
She was with us for about 3 months.
Why did she go back?
I think she felt that she needed a different kind of a training program than the one we were doing, and I think she felt like she needed more time in the gym, and that was something that again, it's, you know, I don't begrudge her that. She can. I hope she does well, and I hope she gets ready, and I hope she's, you know, makes this team.
We certainly do wish Christie Phillips the best in terms of getting back in top form to make that team for Seoul. As the two rotations are completed, you can see we have a four-way tie for first place, so the third rotation will be very exciting. We'll be back with more gymnastics. Let's go to boxing now with Marv Albert and Dr. Ferdy Pacheco. mixed pairs championships. As you can see by the leaderboard here, that Sabrina Mar and Mike Rice, after some outstanding performances on the floor X and the high bar, have moved into the lead with a 29-3. Gunthorpe and Holdsworth in second, 29-2-5. Henrik and Davis, 29-2. Now the next pair up is Hope Spivey and Dan Hayden, and both Hope and Dan have had an excellent day and might move into the lead here with some strong performances on two of their best events, Mary Lou.
I think if anybody can do it, Hope and Dan can. This is Hope's favorite event and one of her best events. She's throwing a couple tumbling passes today that are very, very difficult, and I'm anxious to see if she's going to make them. She's going to be trying to perform a full in back somersault at the end of a routine, so let's look for that and see if she can make it.
Okay, and to the music of Cats, this is Hope Spivey.
Hope shows a lot of expression in her floor routine. A double back layout somersault, solid.
Very easily done, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. To the corner for her second pass. Should be a double back somersault. Fairly easy for Hope. And it was. You know, for as tiny as she is, she can really sky it. She gets her tumbling up there.
There's her coach, Bill Strauss, looking on.
You know, the Parkettes Gymnastics School is one of the powerhouses of the United States gymnastics, and their level of difficulty really has gotten a lot better. They were mostly really famous for their dance technique, but now they're really throwing some difficult and some harder skills. She's resting up now because I know she's thinking about this full in-back somersault for her finish.
And it's so important to be doing the high-level difficulty if the U.S. team is going to win any medals in Seoul.
Yes, it is. And it is, and a wonderful ending. Wonderful performance.
Hope Spivey does it.
She has got to be happy about that.
Dismounting with a full-in double back is very difficult and is one of the toughest moves being done in the world scene right now.
Oh, absolutely. Let's take a look at one of her passes. Just get a strong run. Nice high double tuck. Technically, it's perfect.
This is definitely the critical move right here. You can see actually round off back handspring, full twisting double. Used to be a hard move, Mary Lou.
It did. It used to be a first pass. Now they're ending with it.
You're looking right now at Dan Hayden on the parallel bars. As far as I'm concerned, Dan is one of the best parallel bar workers in the world, and I really feel he's a legitimate medal hope for the U.S. in Seoul.
He has a unique routine, doesn't he, Bart?
He has a different style. You can see here he lowers to a V, and a straight arm, straight body press, which takes a tremendous amount of strength. But as soon as he holds that handstand, he goes back to the swing moves. There's a Stutz. Back toss. A little short. Good fight, though. Another back toss. Nicely done. Right on top. There's the Stutz. And a tuck double back. One hop on the landing, but otherwise a very clean exercise. Now keep in mind that Hope and Dan need 9-8 to pass Sabrina Mar and Mike Rice for the lead.
I think they're going to be hard to beat, Bart.
You can see here the Stutz. Now all of these moves are supposed to land right on top of the handstand. Dan's a little short on that back toss, but he really handles it. You can see he's using a tremendous amount of grip strength to fight the handstand. Double back a little bit low, and that's the reason why he has to take a hop there. He'll need to improve that if he wants to win a gold in Seoul. 9-8-5 for the pair, 29-4 for their team. They move into first place. And we'll be back with the final pair, which is Joyce Wilborn and Tom Schlessinger, coming up in a few minutes. Yet to compete. This is Joyce Wilborn, and her teammate Tom Schlessinger will be competing next. Remember, they need a 9.9 to win. And Mary Lou, with Joyce's explosive tumbling, they just might be able to do it.
Oh, that is the word for her tumbling. Joyce is a crowd pleaser. I just like to just let Joyce perform and not even talk. Starting out with a punch front into a full in back somersault. just incredible, the power that she really has, the amplitude she gets in her tumbling. Now, her dance, she needs a little work on. She's a little sloppy in form and on her ballet. But that comes with maturity, and that comes with experience also.
She used to have a very weak tumbling run here, just a double twist, but she's beefed up the difficulty here.
That's correct. She used to do a very easy tumbling pass, and she's upgraded that.
Double full through to another double full.
And again, this is a competition to throw it in, to try it out in. And as hope, I think Joyce is going to end with a full and back somersault. But Joyce has performed that before, so I don't think she'll have any problem with it.
Joyce was the only medal winner in the Goodwill Games last year, as she won a bronze on vaulting, the only medal winner from the Western world.
A little low of the landing, but she pulls it around, and she is smiling about that. I think what Joyce was thinking, that she wanted to do her best so that her and Tom can really win the competition.
She definitely picked her best event to finish on.
I think so. That's
beautiful.
part of the strategy of it. Pick your strongest event and finish strong. Nice high, full in back somersault. She is incredible.
Nothing to it, right, Joyce? So that's the first half of the pair, Wilborn and Schlessinger. The next performer coming up is Tom Schlessinger out of the University of Nebraska. Tom has been complaining he had a rough week here. First of all, he dropped $7 into the slot machines and is way behind there. But he's also had some problems with his eyes. He had some inflammation and he can't wear his contacts, so that might be a factor here on the race.
Have a blurred landing.
Nice inverted giant swing to two front giants with perfectly straight arms. There's a combination of a move called Yamawaki. It's a 1.5 flipping whippet. And he did 2 in a row, the first in pike position and the second in tuck position. Nice combination. There's a flange. A little bent arms on that. That'll be a minor deduction. Oh, but a nice dismount. A pike, full twisting double back dismount.
Look good to me. Contacts or no contacts?
Very nicely done for Tom Schlessinger. I'm sure his partner Joyce Wilborn is proud of him. Here's the combination. A piked Yamawaki to a tucked Yamawaki. Funny names, I know, but they're named after gymnasts who first performed them in international competition. There's the flange, showing good strength. And a giant to a handstand to a piked full twisting double back, a very difficult dismount. That routine will score well anywhere, whether it's in Las Vegas or the championships, the trials, or even in Seoul, South Korea. So there's the score, 9.8 for that competition there on floor and rings. And I don't believe they've done it. It looks to me like our champions are going to be Hope Spivey and Dan Hayden. Wilborn and Schlesinger are in second with 29.35. 500s back. Mar and Rice end up in third. Henrik and Davis, 5th, Snowden, Godkin, 6th, 7th is Marlowe and Chaplin, Panzeroni and Amori are in 8th. We'll be back for a wrap-up here in gymnastics. After these